Bonjour, everyone. My name is Marie Curie. You might know me from my work with radioactivity, or perhaps you've heard of me as the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, not once, but twice. But today, I want to tell you my story from a perspective that might surprise you. I want you to understand how my work and discoveries still shape the world we live in today. Let's start with my roots, my family. I was born Maria Sklodowska on November 7th, 1867, in Warsaw, Poland, to a family steeped in education and perseverance. My father, Władysław Sklodowski, was a teacher of mathematics and physics, and my mother, Bronisława, was a teacher as well. But life was not always easy. My mother passed away when I was just 10 years old, a loss that affected me deeply. My father, despite his own struggles, never stopped encouraging my intellectual curiosity. I had 4 siblings, Zosia, Bronisława, Józef, and Helen. Life wasn't always kind to us. My father's income was modest, and when I was young, we faced many financial difficulties. But what my family lacked in wealth, they made up for with determination. My siblings and I were all raised with the expectation that we would excel no matter the obstacles. My sister Bronisława and I, we shared a particular bond. We both dreamed of studying, of pushing beyond the limitations that society placed on women at that time. I knew that education was my escape, my gateway to a better life. But in Poland, women were not allowed to attend universities, so I did what many women in my situation did. I attended the Floating University in Warsaw, a clandestine organization that allowed women to study in secret. And I worked as a governess to support myself and my sister's education. Eventually, I moved to Paris in 1891 to attend the prestigious Sorbonne. There, I earned my degrees in physics and mathematics. It was in Paris that I became known as Marie Curie, a name that, for me, would eventually represent a new frontier in science and discovery. But how did I make my discoveries? It began with my work alongside my husband, Pierre Curie. Pierre was a brilliant scientist, and together we embarked on an exciting journey. We studied the properties of uranium and discovered that certain elements emitted a type of energy that could pass through matter, something we later called radiation. This was the beginning of what we would later call radioactivity. At first, this discovery seemed like an oddity, but as I continued my work, I realized that there was much more to it than we initially understood. Through painstaking research and countless experiments, I identified 2 new elements: polonium, named after my homeland of Poland, and radium. The radium that I discovered emitted an astonishing amount of energy, and we soon understood that this energy could have profound medical and scientific applications. I spent a lot of time in the lab, often in difficult and unsafe conditions. At the time, I didn't know that radiation could be harmful. It wasn't until later that scientists learned about its dangers. My health suffered and I got sick, but I never regretted the work I did. In 1903, Pierre and I, alongside Henri Becquerel, were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for our work on radiation. It was the first of many honors I would receive. But what I cherish most is the fact that our discoveries opened doors to future generations of scientists and innovators. Talk about what my work means for you, for all of us today. What began as the study of an invisible, mysterious force has transformed medicine, energy, and technology in ways I could never have imagined. In medicine, my discovery of radium led to the development of radiation therapy, a treatment that is still used to fight cancer today. The precision and power of radiation have helped millions of people survive illnesses that would have been fatal just a century ago. In fact, radiation therapy has evolved, thanks to innovations I couldn't have foreseen, saving countless lives and continuing to evolve as our understanding of the body and radiation grows. In addition, my work with radioactivity laid the foundation for the development of nuclear energy. Today, nuclear power plants provide clean energy to millions of people around the world. And without that knowledge, who knows where we'd be in our fight against climate change. But that's not all. Modern technology, from X-ray machines, which were born from my work, to advanced diagnostic tools, all owe something to the curiosity, persistence, and dedication that fueled my research. I never saw myself as a hero, nor did I expect recognition. But I knew that science could change the world, and it has. As a woman in a male-dominated field, I also hope that my work shows young women everywhere that they too can make a difference. In fact, I founded the Curie Institute in Paris, a research center that continues to make groundbreaking advances in science to this very day. I left this world in 1934, but I am proud to see how my work continues to influence the future. And when I look at the world today, at the achievements of so many scientists and the changes we've made, I am humbled. My journey wasn't easy, but I followed my passion, my curiosity, and my desire to contribute to something greater than myself. And I hope that my story reminds you that no dream is too big and no obstacle too strong. The future is shaped by those willing to question, to discover, and to never give up. Remember, the power of knowledge, the pursuit of truth, will always light the way forward.